for the Unit 3 exam, it's really important that you're able to revise at home and do practice papers at home. Now, unlike my work machine here where you can see I have Microsoft Project, you won't be able normally to get this at home due to the licensing. There is a free open source alternative though called ProjectLibre, and I'm going to slowly just take you through how to download it, install it, and roughly quickly how to use it in comparison to projects which you might be used to. So going into your web browser and searching for ProjectLibre, you'll find this one here, which is ProjectLibre AI. When it pops up, there's a lot of options to do it on the cloud and through AI. We just want this standard one here, which is download desktop. It'll take you to SourceForge. Don't worry, it's safe. And then we're just going to download it. Give it 5 seconds to download. And now it's finished with downloading, we're just going to open it. Close our web browser. And then go through the install process like you would for any other application. So accept the terms. Click next, we'll install it in the default directory. We'll give it permission. And then we'll allow it to install. Now that it's finished, we'll see it's made a new desktop icon for us, but if not, just go to Start and then search for ProjectLibre. And it'll show up there. Once you open it, it will be a rather familiar user interface if you've used Microsoft Project before. First time you start it up, it'll just present you with the license. I'm just going to hit I accept, and I will not register it. Here we get to open or create a project. I'm going to create a project as you would do in the exam. So here I'm going to give it a name, Unit 3 example. And I'm going to select my start date of the project that's necessary here. Click OK. And here you'll see it's very, very similar to Microsoft Project. It just looks a little bit older. So down this side we have all our tasks. We have the start. If I just drag this up, the finish, predecessors, resource names that we may need. Over here, we have our actual timeline. Now let me just walk you through it. We have save as here. The reason we suggest using ProjectLibre is you can actually export it as a Microsoft project file, so you can work on it at home and bring it into college or school and continue to work on it there. You can also open and read Microsoft Project files. You can export it as a PDF like you would need to do in the exam, so this is great again if you're doing homework. And then that's pretty much it for the File tab. The Task tab, you have this Gantt button. This takes you to this default view. Very similar to Microsoft Project. Over here you would have a button and be able to switch between the views, but this one just goes back to this original view. Over here we have Insert and Delete tasks, and we have Indent and Outdent. So, for instance, if I have an analysis stage in my waterfall methodology, and then I have research, market competition as a task on here, obviously analysis is the stage and the research is the actual task. So I'll want to indent that, and just like Microsoft Project, you'll see this goes bold, and this is now a stage rather than just a task. It's made up of everything underneath it. And then again, if we do this, create design mockups. Obviously design again is the stage, we don't want it to be a task. Currently it's coming under analysis, so we can just click outdent. And then we can just move this task here. And then again, just like analysis did, this becomes a stage rather than a task. If I change it in here to 24 days, then just like Microsoft Project, it'll allow me to do that. Again, like Microsoft Project, in this column here, if you want something to be less than day, if I want it to be 5 hours, It will automatically work that out in days. And of course, we can set up how many hours is in a day and how many hours works for your project, as this is a big part of the Unit 3 exam. The way that we'll do that is back to the File tab and go to Calendar. Then you'll be able to see on a Monday, for instance, we work from 8 till 12 and 1 till 5. And you can change this to non-default working time or just the default, and we can apply that to multiple different days at a time. If you hit the new one, we can make a new standard. So for a specific exam, you can make a whole new standard. Like mentioned before, we can add predecessors, so we can say that task 2 is a predecessor here, and it adds it to our Gantt chart. We can also add resource names, so if you were to double click on an activity, you get the general tab with the name, the duration, how complete it is, what the work is. You get the predecessors tab, which shows you every predecessor you've assigned to it. You get successors, so whenever you assign a predecessor to say 4 is a predecessor of 5, it'll say here the successor is 5. We have resources, which we will come to in a second. We can click this button to assign resources, and we'll come back to that. The advanced tab, which you won't really need to click any of that for the Unit 3 exam. Go into the resource tab up here. We can insert tasks and resources still. But unlike Microsoft Project, before you do that, just make sure you click on this resources view here to go to the resources sheet. So if I have software engineer in here, then I can put the standard rate in here, or if it's a one-time purchase, the cost per use. So if I have a server here, I can say that the server costs £1,000 there, and the software engineer is £50 per hour. You'll see it becomes very similar to Microsoft Project. To get back to our Gantt chart view, we click Task and then Gantt. And now in Resources, I can assign my software engineer. And you'll see here, my software engineer is assigned for 5 hours there now, and it shows up here. Once you're done with your practicing, you can hit PDF to print it, save it to your documents, and then we can go just to find that. And then it will output it exactly like Microsoft Project will. This is open source and it is available for other platforms such as Linux. If you want me to show you how I would set it up on Linux, please let me know. And make sure to get familiar with this software, and it will give you a massive head start in Microsoft Project.